Hey, how's it going? Thank you for clicking on my video. Thank you for listening or watching. I'm Katie Brannon, Tea Time True Crime with Katie. Before I put the title page on, you guys, I like to talk about obscure cases that are not well known. And if I talk about high profile, maybe I give you a little bit extra information. So if that is your thing, definitely hit the subscribe button, and also hit the subscribe button anyway, because the giveaway is at the end of this month, and it is February 14th, 2024, and I have another February case. Yes. And I actually found it on one of the best shows of all time called The Forensic Files. Yes, Peter Thomas, best narrator voice. Okay, so I'm going to be talking about Michael Paul Andrade. Now, if you never heard of this case, don't worry, because I could not find a lot of information at all. So most of this is coming from the episode of the Forensic Files episode. I usually have hot tea on here, but today I just made some ice cold coffee. Jot, have you heard of that? J-O-T. It's like concentrated coffee. You pour just a tiny bit. I put my almond creamer in, and it is just delicious and very simple. So I would call this episode the burning evidence that was actually self-sabotage. Yeah, guys, it's wild. So Michael Andrade, he was actually from Texas. That's all I know so far. I wish I could find his birthday. If you guys know, please let me know. I'm getting Gemini. I'm getting maybe Capricorn vibes. I could be totally wrong. But he was extremely driven, and his dream was to become a doctor. Now, in 2005, he went to St. Mary's University in San Antonio, Texas. Now, like I said, he was studying to be a doctor, but he was a college kid, so he was a young man, and he honestly did not want to live in the dorms because everyone's partying there, and it's, you can't really study, and he really, really wanted to, pass everything. So he decided to live off campus, you guys, and it was just like a couple of miles away from the college. Now, the reason why he chose this was because he saw a lot of families and he saw diversity, and he thought it would be a really good place to live and also a quiet place to study. Now, it definitely, like I said, it seemed way more family oriented, and everything was going well. He was studying, he talked to his mom, and he was really scared and nervous, which I hear you, I'm in school, and it's like, I'm so scared, and I feel like I can't do it, but you cannot do that to yourself. You always have to give yourself a chance. You really do. Just remember that. So Michael, like I said, he just studied all the time, and his mother was his main, support, and he had a very strong relationship with his sister, and Michael just seemed like a really sweet, nice guy, and he just... Yeah, sadly, you would think he would be at the right place, but tragically, you guys, this is, I swear, like a tale of the boogeyman or something, because when I told my partner about this story, he was horrified, like horrified. So please grab a comfort item, grab a snack, and we are going to go on. Warning, this is true crime, so yes. Trigger warning, I'm going to be talking about not nice things, and please know that I have the absolute respect and for this family, and I just send positive energy, and I do these stories to make sure there is awareness and education. So right now, everything is like hunky-dory. Michael is kind of stressed out about the MCATs and stuff like that. And in February, though, Michael's apartment, all of a sudden, his windows were covered in soot. Yeah. 911 was immediately called and emergency services went to the front door. But as soon as they opened the door, there was so much smoke. Smoke just came right out of the door. Everyone's like, oh my gosh, the place is on fire. So police is looking around and they're definitely seeing fire. Yes, there is fire actually throughout the apartment. And as they walk into the apartment and into the bedroom, they see poor Michael Andrade. He was found with a t-shirt in his boxers, and he was found to be strangled to death with some piece of cloth around his neck. The way one of his arms, they said, it looked like he was bound because one arm was still in the back and the other arm was kind of moved up front. Plus there were ligature marks. Now, automatically, they get rid of the fire. Fire department's called, and thank goodness the whole building didn't catch on fire. It was just his apartment. There was no forced entries, and as the police are investigating and looking around the apartment after the fire is ceased, they notice that electronics are missing. Yeah. There was a camera, there was a laptop, but you can clearly see that the laptop, there is like a little kind of space area where the laptop was, and you can tell that after the fire was set, the laptop was taken. Now, they noticed the fire was actually set in 3 different locations of the apartment, which is already, guys, I know it's screaming like cover up. The first, this is no actual order, but one of the places was the floor of a bedroom closet, a foot of the bed, and also a winged back chair was on fire, and that was between the kitchen and the dining room. Yeah, like I said, it just screams cover up. When the evidence was taken for, poor Michael, his clothes actually had microscopic fiberglass insulation. Yeah, and it was actually on his body as well. Now, what confused investigators was even though there was a fire, the fire was not severe enough to have structural damage. So usually you see insulation between the walls, stuff like that. So they're thinking, well, the roof didn't collapse. There's no, like I said, there was no structural damage. So they're like, where did this come from? Police are conducting their investigation, and they start talking to the mother and the daughter the sister, so the mother's daughter, which is his sister. And they realize there's actually no suspects. Michael was extremely loved and cared for and didn't have any enemies. They did name one suspect, and that was his girlfriend at the time, Lily. There seemed to be some kind of wishy-washy kind of relationship going on. And, Lily, when she heard about everything, she completely cooperated with the police. She even said, come on in, check my apartment, do what you need to do. She was completely cooperative, which is awesome. She had an alibi, airtight alibi. She was good. Now, with everything going on, meaning that when poor Michael was found in his underwear, pretty much, boxers, investigators saw no forced entry. So they thought maybe he let somebody in that he knew. I mean, it's plausible. So they really didn't have any more answers. So they actually went to the media and put it in a newspaper about this horrific crime, and of course left some things out. They had a lot more questions than answers. Well, several days later, there was an anonymous tip from Crime Stoppers. Yeah, that phone number that you actually see on TV for tips. Yes, the anonymous tip said that the killer did not actually go through the front door. The killer didn't even go through a window to the apartment. Yeah, actually, the killer came from a crawl space from an attic. The tipster also talked about the laptop and some electronics that went missing. And of course, investigators were like, whoa, okay, wait a minute, light bulb. This was not even in the article, this was not even given to the media. So this person knows way more. Like we need to follow on this tip. Well, when investigators heard about the tip, they were like, we really need to get on this because this person knows a lot more, So they start to actually go to the apartment and they started to go in the attics and they wanted to see if anything was disturbed, like any insulation or fiberglass. And they noticed that the only apartment that was disturbed was Michael's. Yeah, Michael's apartment. And it was leading to the next apartment. Now, they bring in at the next door neighbor, Maria Solis. Maria Solis was a 23-year-old single mother with a 3-year-old son. Now, when questioned, she said she didn't even know who Michael was, and she didn't even knew where he lived or anything about him. Police didn't really believe her, okay? So they actually took Maria's vacuum cleaner and they took the clothes from the laundry bin. Now, forensics found during this investigation, they found a pair of men's jeans with tiny glass fibers. Also microscopic insulation that was burned. Yes, it was charred. And you would think, well, wouldn't it be destroyed? No, this one was not destroyed. It was just charred. So they also realized with that finding that, remember I told you about the fibers that was found on Michael's body earlier? Those are the same fibers that was found in Maria's apartment. Yeah, I know. It's not looking good. No, not looking good for Maria, you guys. So when they opened the vacuum and went through the vacuum, there was these threads that were found. Some were microscopic, and it was wrapped around the vacuum cleaner, like where the spinny thing is, like the wheel thing. It was wrapped around it, and it was a piece of thread that was dyed a different color than anything in Maria's apartment. But they realized it was the same thread that was found on Michael's bedsheet. Evidence, you guys, it just keeps on stacking up. Just stacking up. Next, a camera was found in Maria's apartment with Michael and his family on the camera. There was also a pair of keys that actually matched Michael's F-150 truck. So Maria is brought into questioning again, and they are like, the police are like, listen, who are these, who owns these men's jeans? Okay, who owns them? And she continued to deny and deny, but with the evidence, coming up, I'm sure the police are threatening some kind of prosecution. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's not looking good for Maria. So she finally gives it up. She said she has a roommate named Joe Luna, and he's 25 years old. She recently met him over the internet. Maria, in her words, sadly, really, really wanted a relationship. Kind of desperate, pretty much, in a way. And she just was really lonely. And so she met this Joe Luna guy, and, he was, straightforward with her and talked about, hey, I have a record. I have a record for carjacking and also an aggravated assault on a police officer. So Maria is actually like, he's living at that apartment. Now, Maria thought that's all that he was, that's all that he was known for. But tragically, you guys, he was actually known for home invasions. They actually had a warrant out for his arrest. Yeah, this guy is just evil. So what he would do is break into people's homes. He would tie them and bound them with fabric. And where he would get the fabric is he would rip off a bed sheet. Yeah. And then he would threaten them and terrorize them with weapons and just like horrible like abuse. He would keep them alive, but I'm sure traumatized for the rest of their lives, because if anyone has been through any kind of burglary or something like that, the way to explain it would feel like your innocence is taken. Like your home is your home. Your home is your sanctuary. And if someone just comes in your home and violates it by stealing from you, your home is not your home anymore. It's a different energy. It's awful. Like, I'm so happy he did not kill any of these people. Like, he did this on 5 separate occasions, including 3 families. Yeah, I know. He would use weapons. I'm not sure exact, with each family member, but like I said, there's not a lot of information, but just know that he was a bad dude and he just got his kicks from like hurting people and getting away with it. Yeah, this guy was like a total psycho. So like I said, guys, even though robberies, he took what he wanted, thank goodness one person found some cigarette butts outside the garage, and she knew that she did not smoke. Anyone in that house did not smoke, and her friends who came over recently did not smoke. So she turned that into the police for evidence on her case. Now, during this time, like I said, police have not caught him. Like, in a way, she is harboring a fugitive. I do not know if she got any time served, but I mean, what do you think should have happened? Like, you bring a stranger in your home, and this woman was lonely, and because of her, a young man is dead for no absolute reason. It's horrible, you guys. It's horrific. With more evidence coming out, Maria finally told the police that Joe Luna actually confessed to her about the killing of Michael. It's a really tragic case, and okay, that's my cat. This is Bowie. Come here, honey. Get down, baby. Hello. I don't know if you guys can hear him purring. No. Sorry, baby. I don't want to choke you, baby. I'm sorry. Hey. So if you guys can watch, this is my boy Bowie. He definitely needs a bath. It's definitely bath time. What did you get into, my darling? I love you. He just jumped like right like in my arms, and then on the keyboard, and then on top of my notebook. It's all right. All right, I'm going to set you down, okay? All right. Want to say bye? Say bye to everybody? All right. I love you, Bowie Bean. Good boy. All right, so that was an intermission with one of my boys named Bowie. And if you guys can't watch and you're listening, I just have a Sphinx cat, and yes, he is my world. He's a rambunctious boy. Okay. Now, where were we, you guys? All right. So, yeah, Joe Luna confessed to Maria. So they have enough evidence now to get Joe Luna, and they get him. They break in, they like go into Maria's house and caught him off guard and finally arrested this bastard. Okay? Now, I'm going to take you to the crime scene, and investigators feel like this is what happened. Joe Luna is hiding out in this apartment, and I'm guessing he is bored. That's the best way to describe it. He's in the house all day, and he starts looking around. Perhaps something to steal. Who knows? And he notices that there is some kind of attic right in one of the rooms. And he realizes that I can climb into the attic. So he starts climbing into the attic. And it's late at night one day. And Maria and the kid her son is not even home. So he goes and climbs the attic. And there's like a crawl space. And while he is up there, he realizes that there is another crawl space that is a little bit farther, and he goes and looks in the crawl space and realizes it's inside of a closet. So Joe Luna, this is horrifying. This is where the boogeyman thing comes from. So Joe Luna has a crawl space that's in a closet, and he climbs down. Hello, Bowie. You want to hear the... All right, he just came back. I know you can't see him, but he's sitting right on top of my notebook. All right, well, there he is. Okay, he's saying hi and gave you guys kisses on the camera. Aw. All right, Bowie. So as Joe Luna actually looks inside the crawl space and he doesn't hear anything, so he jumps down and he comes to the closet, through the closet, and realizes the noise, it wakes up poor Michael. Michael is woken up because a man just comes right through his closet. Michael doesn't know what to do, and there's this horrible struggle. Joe Luna jumps on top of him, starts, bounding him like, all right, Bowie. Okay, well, he's just giving you guys kisses right now. All right, so Bowie jumped on something on the keyboard, and it just totally messed up the picture. I don't know how he did it, but I'm really bright. It looks like I'm in the center of the sun. So I'm going to keep on going. Tragically, Michael did not see it coming. He was sleeping, hence he was in his boxers and a t-shirt, and this guy comes through the closet. And Michael did what he could to fight, and for some reason, I really don't know why, when I told George about this crime, George was really upset. He was like, why did he kill him though? Why? Like, what was the reasoning? His reasoning was because Michael saw his face and he knows what he looked like. So poor Michael had to die. So not only this man, there's a struggle. You literally just woke up. You don't know what's going on. You're probably discombobulated. And this man jumps on top of you and rips part of your bed sheet and use the fabric to bound your hands. Like he's on top of him, and poor Michael is laying on the stomach. Yep. And then he gets another piece of fabric from the bed sheet and just starts strangling poor Michael. Michael did fight for his life, but he was tragically just overcome. I mean, I just don't understand why he had to die. I mean, I'm serious. Like, if first of all, you shouldn't have been in someone else's crawl space. I get that. But you didn't have to kill him. You could have fell out and be like, oh man, I'm so sorry. Did I scare you? Oh my gosh. I was up there checking out some wiring, or just make some BS excuse and then go back up. And you're like, yeah, man, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to disturb your sleep. And Michael seemed like the kind of guy that would not be like, F you, get the F out. Michael seemed like a really sweet, gentle heart. And he would have been like, okay, man, it's all good. I'm going to go back to bed, though, because I got to keep studying for my MCATs. You know? Like, you didn't have to kill him. Sorry, guys. I've been, like, thinking about this case for days. I actually had a dream about this case. And I believe that Michael was supposed to be something great. Like one of the doctors that really, really cared about his patients. Sorry. His family was quite impressed how fast the case was pretty much solved, because it was so much forensic evidence. Sorry. So I talked about the horrible demise of Michael. Now, what happened after that is Joe was in a frenzy. So he realized he has to cover up his crime. So he goes and lights something on fire, one thing, and leaves the bedroom and goes back in the crawl space and realizes there was no fire trucks coming, like at all. Joe was looking outside saying, where's the fire trucks? So what he did was he went back to the crime scene and he did 2 more points, where he lit on fire. But at this time, there was already smoke and soot, but the fire wasn't, because there was no accelerant, you guys. So there was no big flames or anything. It was just like he had a match or a lighter and just lit one thing, and then it just slowly kind of burned, So when Joe did that, when he went back to the scene, because he realized that nobody was coming, there was no fire department or anything like that. Like I said, he lit 2 more spots. But as that he was doing it, he started stealing electronics. That's why the computer had the spot of where, you could definitely tell there was a computer, because there already was a fire around it that was lit. So he took a computer, a laptop, he took a camera, he took keys, and he got out of there. Now, as he was getting out of there and went right back in the crawl space, he didn't realize that he himself was catching these fiberglass. And since the apartment was already burning, the charred, burnt fiberglass and insulation was on Joe Luna. And even though it was invisible to the naked eye, forensics found it. Now, when he went back to his girlfriend's apartment, Maria, he realized that there was a mess. There was fiberglass and insulation in their closet. So he got the vacuum and vacuumed everything up. Yeah. He was charged. First of all, in the beginning, he said he wasn't guilty, but then with all the evidence stacked up against him, especially all this forensic evidence, he said guilty. And he also said that he enjoyed victimizing people and getting away with it. He got like an adrenaline rush. How evil could you be? Like, that guy is insane. In 2006, March of 2006, you guys, he actually wanted the death penalty. Yeah, I've tried to find recent information about this case, and I literally couldn't find any. So if you guys could let me know if Joe Luna is still alive, let me know. But honestly, I don't care. I really care about Michael. I care about sweet college student Michael, who just worked his butt off, and then his beautiful light and life was taken away. Yeah, it's really horrific. I mean, I can't imagine how scared Michael was. Could you imagine that, you guys? You're sleeping, it's quiet, and all of a sudden, this man just comes through your closet, and you don't even have like a second to react because you're like sleeping. Man, I would like kind of sue that complex. Now, is it the complex's fault? You let me know. You guys let me know what you think about this case. Sorry for the unprofessionalism about my beautiful Bowie, but it happened, and I didn't want to just stop saying Michael's story. Like I said, guys, subscribe. Please know that you are loved and cherished. It is Valentine's Day. Happy Valentine's Day. If you are solo, no worries. Grab yourself some chocolate, watch a movie, hang out with friends, do what you like. But please know it is the day of love, even though it may be commercial, okay? Still is the day of love. And know that you are loved and you are cherished. And remember, you are doing better than you think. Bye, guys.